What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Brian Reacts, where I review both amateur and pro form alike to point out what people are doing well when they get a lot of success with their throw, particularly a pro, and when things are not going as planned, which is unfortunately what's going on with most amateur form. Today, I am going to be reviewing another pro, and not just any pro, an up-and-coming pro named Luke Taylor. If you like this kind of video, if you're enjoying the content, please leave a comment. I read all the comments and reply to everything. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. I appreciate all the feedback from everyone, and thank you so much for watching. I'm going to jump straight into the video here. This video comes to us courtesy of Anthem Disc Golf, which is a brand new channel. They've only been around 6 months, and they've been going out to pro events with extremely high quality cameras to shoot pro form like it's never been displayed before, in anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 frames per second in 4K. It's just a gorgeous rendering of the sport that we love, and it gives us the ability to really break down the minutia of pro form down to the finest details. And what a subject for today's video here. I've got Luke Taylor. Luke Taylor actually is, I would say, an emergent player in the sport. He came into professional disc golf just a few years ago. I think he actually started, if I had to guess, he turned pro in 2021, and he made a huge splash in 2024 when he was in contention for the World Championships, and he just missed the podium. He finished 4th place. And I watched Luke Taylor's run all the way to a near podium finish in 2024 Worlds, and I was just enchanted by his biomechanics, the effortlessness of his form, the way that he could basically just seemingly casually stride down the tee pad and throw the disc like 525 feet with laser precision was really incredible. Normally when someone throws that hard, they really look like they're doing it. And Luke had this sort of casual quality about his biomechanics that really entranced me. So I'm really looking forward to reviewing his form to see what is this guy doing in his form to produce so much power with so little apparent effort. You're going to see that too in a second. So let's watch his form at full speed right now. This is a full speed throw. Look at that. Let's watch that again. Try to get in the right spot here. So casual. So if you saw that form, what would you think? How far is he throwing that disc? Looking at those biomechanics, I would imagine that Luke Taylor is throwing, imagine him out on a field somewhere throwing a pass to his friend. And his friend is maybe 150 feet away, and he goes, "Here, catch." Except that in this case, that disc, which looks like a mid-range to me, would be coming at your head at probably 60 miles an hour, 61 miles an hour, with an insane amount of spin and velocity, and would have enough energy to go over your head and fly 200 feet past you. Because that looks to me like a mid-range thrown about 325 to 350 feet. Based on this guy's biomechanics, he can throw a 500-foot shot looking that casual. So let's look at him in slow motion. This is probably in 4,000 frames per second, so it's going to be ultra slow speed. And I'm going to break down everything that I see going on in Luke Taylor's biomechanics. Now keep in mind, before we begin, the caveat here is he's not throwing anywhere near full power. This is probably a 300 to 320 foot shot. You notice he's got a mid-range in hand, and you can see Anthony Barella over there looking on. So first things first, you see his eyes gazing intently on the target. His bullet position is totally instinctive. All of his body positions will be in service of that. Watch him come and settle down on his back foot. Notice shoulders still sideways. He hasn't begun to backswing at all. Everything is loading lateral energy here, and the load is sequential. Nothing comes early. He's settled down on his back foot here, and you'll notice gradual turn of the upper body in perfect timing with the extension of his plant foot. And I believe that is about the apex of the backswing. So you'll notice this disc is not rising up out here. It's not far away from him. His left shoulder is actually fairly abbreviated too. This is not anywhere near a full power backswing. Luke is not backswinging fully in these mechanics right here. He's actually only backswinging a little bit because he knows exactly how much force he needs to exert into the throw. That is one of the two efficiencies that he does in his biomechanics to accentuate accuracy at the cost of some power. He does another thing too here that I'm going to point out in a second. So you notice He's shifting down into his foot, but he's already begun to swing the disc. And a lot of people talk about the orthodoxy of this sport. And one thing that people are very fond of repeating is you don't activate the body until the plant heel is down. And Luke Taylor can throw probably 650 feet, I'd imagine. He's not throwing here with his heel down. So what's going on? The reason is that this is an efficiency that he's built into his biomechanics to power down on the shot. He knows that he doesn't need all the energy from the leg. The leg will remain mostly, cocked throughout his biomechanics, and a lot of the power is just going to come from this little turn and utilizing perfect leverage to impart energy to the disc. And in terms of the various positions that he's getting into, you see that the disc now, a lot of people talk about this idea of pronation and supination in the swing. It's a way to help keep the disc both under in a position where you can exert a lot of energy on it, and also to help control for nose angle. And you can see that he does this instinctively. Notice that the disc is tilted towards him. This is pronation. It's moving the wrist towards the body. And in combination with both the shoulder and keeping the wrist pronated, you can keep the alignment of the lever oriented to the disc so that you have a strong advantage against the disc. You're in the most powerful pulling position on it the whole time. So Luke just does that instinctively. He's evolved and developed, where do I feel strongest and most controlled against the disc? It's this arm position. And of course, as soon as he begins to turn his torso, the disc pulls up to completely perfectly flat out to the ejection point. You can see his left arm has moved in to brace against his body, just a little bit in front of his left leg where it's counterbalancing the weight of the disc. He's off his back foot. He's rotating a little bit. Actually, I guess, he hasn't begun to rotate. He's just counterweighting with his back foot. His heel is still fully off the ground. So if you see this in your form when you're trying to throw as hard as you possibly can, you are definitely not utilizing the ground in the way that you could to maximum effect. I had the same problem for years. When I looked at my form, I would throw the disc as hard as I possibly could. My heel never touched down, and I didn't know why. In Luke's case, this is an intentional thing. He's powering down on the shot, so you can see how harmful that is to power production. When you're trying to throw full power, you need that heel down. Luke knows he's not throwing full power here. He's throwing a controlled shot with a mid-range, so his heel isn't down. You can see the ejection perfectly flat, the disc barely wobbling, even at 4,000 frames per second. So smooth. His follow-through perfectly balanced, no effort at all. Again, it looks like he's throwing a little pass. I want to go look at that one more time. And just look at this. You'll see something really interesting here, and I want you to pay attention to that. It looks like a little tug of energy. It's just a little backswing, and then all of the intention directed into that hit point, that focal point, where Luke summons the bullet to get the exact result that he wants. Watch it again. Tug right there. You can't beat it. This is perfect biomechanics incarnate. This guy is the real deal. And I'm sure Luke Taylor is going to have a hell of a career, because being this good at the sport at this age, he's already had an incredible result on the world stage. I believe he's 1030 rated and climbing. It'll be really cool to watch Luke's career progress from here. And thank you for watching this form review with me. Thanks again for tuning in. If you like the video, please leave a like, please leave comments, and I will see you next time. Take care.